Welcome back to Twilight Princess, everybody. Last video we got started in the Temple of Time and we were slowly climbing our way up in the temple. So we've come to our first sort of complex puzzle room. So you've got a crystal here which you will use to move the room around. I'm going to get rid of this Beamos first because Beamos are nothing but a huge pain in the butt and they just do nothing for Zelda's society except for annoy the crap out of Link. So you can hit it with your arrow or with your sword. You can hit it with your sword for the first time. Or whatever else you want to hit it with. It'll turn red and it will move the wall around as you saw. So you have to move this wall to get around in this room. Luckily the game was kind enough to leave you a gigantic hole where you can shoot your arrow through. And you can hit the crystal. So you don't have to make any sort of complicated, awkward lobbing shots or anything, which is nice, especially for me because I am terrible. As you just saw, I drew my arrow like out in the completely opposite direction that I wanted, which was kind of strange, but oh well. Point is, I destroyed that Beamos and we're going to pick up a big chest with our compass in it, of course. None other than the compass. So there we go, we're able to see chests on our map. Now for such a big temple, this place really actually doesn't have a lot of chests. I was very surprised when I came in here my first time. I thought this place must be loaded. There's like 8 floors, which is huge for a temple normally. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot of treasures or anything in here, which is alright. It has the most important ones, like the 2 heart pieces that every single temple has, and things like that, which we will be keeping an eye out for. Is there more enemies around? Okay, for some reason the music's still going, even though there's nothing around me. This is the same kind of concept, just hit the crystal to get the gate to move. However, this is a little bit of a harder shot, and it's a little difficult sometimes because you have to go around walls and other infrastructure to be able to hit it, so you have to kind of line up your shots really well. And here we are, another type of like lizard, which is kind of interesting. They put a lot of lizards in this temple for some reason, I guess because they felt this temple needed its own specific enemy, and there's not really any sort of specific enemy to put in a place like this. Like, this place isn't themed towards any sort of Zelda enemy, I feel, but anywho. There's a big electric fence, so we can't get to whatever chest is in this room right now. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to pass it up and walk right past it. So, take care of you. With these guys, I find a shield bash and a helm splitter works really well. I mean, shield bash and helm splitter works really well for a lot of enemies. These guys will put up their shields, but sometimes you can stun them and then you can hit them because they're really heavily armored. And something like a backslice doesn't work either. So these guys are a little tougher to defeat. You also get the finishing blow. You might have not saw that pop up on my screen, but I briefly caught it. Oh, the lizards are really easy to do a finishing blow on. I wonder if I can hit this from here. I can. It went right through the wall. Thank you, Zelda Physics, for throwing me a bone, because I hate that shot. It's kind of difficult because you have all those walls in the way, but moving on up the tower, of course. I do believe we only have 3 or more floors before we hit the very top, so we'll have to see what's up there. Alright, another room with a lot of spiders. So again, you don't have to destroy these spiders right now. You can destroy them later. I'm going to destroy them now with my spinner because it's lots of fun. I think you can also destroy these with like your ball and chain if you wanted, but I find that they kind of move way too slowly. The ball and chain moves too slowly, excuse me, to be able to actually hit these guys, because these guys scurry around, and like I said, they're going to try and get away from you as fast as they possibly can. In most situations. Like right now they're being really annoying for whatever reason, because most of the time they don't even go anywhere near you. They're kind of just here for like an annoyance factor. But like I said, there's lots of ways you can defeat these guys, and you don't have to destroy them now. You can destroy them on a return trip to this room, but I will do it now so I don't have to really worry about it later. Although I will show you later on an alternate method of destroying them, which might be more effective depending on who you are. You have to destroy the big ones and the little ones, so of course I forgot the big guy, so the chest didn't appear. But voila! Before my very eyes. this chest will appear. Now, unfortunately, a lot of you are going to be bummed out because it is only going to be rupees. And at this point in the game, rupees really aren't super useful. If you have the magic, or if you're trying to get the magic armor, then it's a little more useful, but this is another reason this temple reminds me of the Tower of Gods, because in the Tower of the Gods, you had a weight scale with statues that looked pretty much exactly like this, so yeah, huge throwback. I have so much nostalgia. I love Wind Waker, which I'm sure most of you who are long-time subscribers will know. Link is the equivalent of 2 of those little statues, so just keep that in mind. Link weighs 2 of them, so if you want to make one platform go higher than the other, you have to kind of weigh out your statues. I'm going to do something while I'm here, although you can do this later. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to come over here, and I'm going to grab this statue, and I always do that. For some reason, I always roll, and I nearly screw that up, but not this time, fortunately. And I'm going to bring him over this way so that I have 3 statues versus Link's weight, so that the one side of the scale will be a little heavier. This might be a little easier to do later on, but like I said, I'm just going to do it now so that I don't forget, because I am just prone to forgetting stuff. So, let's see, I want to come up this way. So, I'm just going to throw this guy up here for now. And then I'm going to crawl up here. Of course, if you throw that guy on there, you'll be able to get high enough in order to do this. And what I need to do is I need to hookshot, or claw shot over here. For some reason I was having a moment where I completely forgot what I was saying, although I've done practice at this place and I know this temple quite well. Again, we have a gigantic spinner track, so let's bring out the spinner, who is actually getting quite a bit of use in this dungeon, so you should be happy, Spinner. This temple appreciates your awesomeness. I need to come up here. I'm actually also going to grab this pole while I'm here. There's only, I want to say there's only 2 poes in this dungeon, but because there is absolutely no reason to come back to this dungeon after you are finished, I'm going to grab these poes now, because I just really don't want to backtrack for them. Although this pose making it insanely difficult, because it just doesn't want to hop down. Alright, so there we go. Getting a little bit of use out of Wolf Link too, for a good measure. And I want to come into this room over here. And again, like I said, you can do this now, or you can do this later on the return trip. It is a little easier on the return trip, but I don't really see any reason to not do it now, and I can show you guys a really, really cool trick if I do it right now, so... Alright, take care of those guys first, who we haven't seen since Lakebed Temple. I don't know what the heck they're doing here. I guess since there's so many monsters in this dungeon, they just decided to join the party. I'm gonna try to get rid of this Armos. Where? I can't get around you. There we go. Don't know why that was so difficult. And then after those guys explode, you can get out, which is pretty much the only reason you want to destroy them. I do recommend destroying, or I guess you really have to destroy, the mole creatures with the shells in order to do the trick I'm about to do. So I'm gonna put these shells in the center of the room. This is actually where our big key is. So yeah, we've only been in here for 1 video and we're already gonna get our big key. I told you this dungeon is really short. So you can come up here and grab this chest if you want. For again, more rupees. What you'll notice here is that there's 4 switches, but they only give you 2 statues. And even if Link stood on one, that would only make 3. And since he has to get off the switch to get the chest, that doesn't really work. You'll see that there's also statues around the temple that are in higher places, or places that we can't get to them. So that's kind of a bummer. When I first played this game, this took me forever to figure out, but what you can actually do, and I really like this trick, I think it's really cool, is you can actually claw shot onto the mole creature's sort of like shell, and they're actually heavy enough to weigh down the switches. How cool is that? Yeah, I got so stumped my first time through here, because I did this the first time through like I'm doing it now when I played. So yeah, a really cool trick. I really like that. So we're gonna get our big key already. Awesome. We don't have to worry about it for the rest of the temple. Alrighty. Well, now that I have that, we are set to go. We're just gonna keep ascending, essentially. We don't really have much more ascending to do. There's also a chest up here, which I think has more rupees in it. Again, more rupees. We're kind of getting full on our rupee count, so I hope I'm still able to pick up some chests. And that drops me off right at the other end of the scale, so I don't have to do that whole scale puzzle again. In here, it's a big death trap of spinning blades and Beamos. Yeah, this temple, if you haven't noticed, is also like a gigantic death trap. They just put in traps and stuff all over the place. It's kind of interesting, though. I mean, they had to do something in this temple. They couldn't just make it a big linear climb upstairs. So, I don't mind, really. If this temple really thinks that they can stump Link, then they have a completely different thing coming. This is what I mean. You have like these big saw blades that are moving back and forth, gonna chop Link in half, and you've got the rolling spikes and all sorts of crazy sort of mechanisms. You want to make sure to pick up that small key, and I'll wait till now to go. You gotta time it so you're in between all of these traps. Pick up this statue, and you want to put him on this switch. Didn't even take any damage. Well, Link, you're certainly proving to be very, very smart against all of these puzzles. And again, more spiders, because this temple just loves spiders, I guess. I don't know. I think that's what they are. They look like spiders. With their legs and their... Is it a thorax? I think, like their butt. I think it's a thorax. I'm no Agatha. I don't know much about bugs. And again, if you want to, you could destroy all those spiders for a chest. I think this has 50 rupees in it, which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to pick up, which is kind of a bummer. So I definitely miscalculated how many rupees I would need. I thought I cleared out my wallet enough, but I didn't. So destroy the spiders if you want. However, fighting the Armoses, or Armos, I guess, is mandatory because you have to destroy them to open up that gate. So let's just take care of our friend, the Armos, because he's blocking our way, which I don't like. I don't like you being in my way. I don't like that you don't let me get behind you. There we go. And there we are. So thank you, Mr. Armos. I am going to stop the video here, because if we take a look on our map, we've actually made it all the way up to the 8th floor. So it's only taken us 2 videos to make it all the way up this temple. So now it's just kind of making you think, what's next? Because we've gone all the way up, so I suppose we're going to see what is in this next room lurking and waiting for us. So yeah, join me then. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.